this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Bread and Wine. This is a candid conversation between a husband and a wife where we break some bread and we drink a lots of vino. Did I already drink too much?
The lots are needed.
Lots are needed this time around. We haven't seen y'all in 2 weeks outside of our lovely episode we did with Amy and Nick, which was fun. It's a little departure of our typical thing. And we're glad to be back here just doing the Andy and Nicole thing because I just like having conversations with Nicole. I was a little jealous last week that there was 2 other people in the room. I wanted to just be with you.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I guess we should never expand.
Should we not do that anymore? Question mark. Let us know. Do you guys like when we interview people on Fridays? We could go either way, honestly. We're going to be drinking wine on Fridays, no matter whether there are people there with us or not. And hello, Carlos. Good to see you,
Carlos.
So, baby, what are we talking about today? I don't want to jibber jabber too long. You can tell that I've had it 1 or 6.
2.
Sorry, everybody.
So,
this is
we're going to talk about.
I had 1 glass of wine, by the way.
Here we go.
Wait, what was that? What did you just do there?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe a cheers to the audience.
Oh, cheers to y'all.
We are going to talk about, is the grass greener on the other side?
Is the grass greener on the other side?
So,
what does that mean? That's a saying that I've heard. The grass. What's the saying? The grass is always greener.
The grass is always greener on the other side.
Okay, the grass is always greener.
Where you're standing, things always seem like they'd be better if something were different.
Huh. Yeah, that's true. We feel that a lot in life. Absolutely.
Yeah. I've definitely felt that before. And so I'm going to take you on the roller coaster ride that is my brain.
Yay!
I hope you guys you don't want to be inside.
Let's go in Nicole's brain, everybody.
It's a scary place.
No, I like it. It's fun. It's going to be exciting.
So 2 weeks ago on the show, I went through a change with my career and was feeling a really, really intense high.
Yeah.
Just like
you guys remember that 2 weeks ago?
And I was excited.
Being appreciated at work.
Being appreciated, which is a wonderful thing. And I still feel, like it was a good idea to make a move. However, I would not say the grass is any greener on this side.
Ba-dum-bum.
2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, whatever. And it reminds me of a book that you and I read a while ago called The Subtle Art of Not Giving Enough.
Yeah.
But they actually say the word.
The other 3 letters.
And
YouTube will get mad at us.
So in the book, I don't remember all of the points of each chapter, but the overarching theme that I do remember taking away from that book is no matter what, like you can be poor and think when I'm rich or if I get rich, everything would be solved. Or if I could just, if I could just get a new girlfriend, or if I could just get a divorce, or if I could just insert whatever here,
I'll be happy.
Things would be better. Like everything would be better. And the book kind of dives into, sorry to tell you, but things aren't necessarily better. They're just different. And that can be like, I don't know. I think that can be taken as a very kind of depressing notion. Like, hey, dude, the grass is never greener. It's going to suck no matter where you go. Or you can take it the other way, which is the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's just different.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to appreciate it for what it is, appreciate the good, appreciate the bad, because there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. There's no, there's just the journey. And when you get to the end of the rainbow, there's something there, but it's not necessarily better or worse. It's just different. It's a different set of problems.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that book. I think you both of us read it maybe at the same time a couple years ago. And I came away with the same thing. I don't remember all the stuff he said, but that was the one thing that I came away with of, hey, you know how you're working hard on whatever path you're on right now, whether it's paying off your debt or, working on fitness goals or maybe a career change or whatever. Just know that's great and keep doing that. But just know that on the other end of this, there's just going to be a new set of problems. It's true. It's so true.
It is
like,
true.
Like we talk about this, like we've talked about our financial journey, you and I, right? We're like, hey, wow, we paid off our debt and even paid off our mortgage. We got $1 million net worth and all that. It's great. It's not like it's just roses and sunshine now. It's just a new set of things that you have to worry about. Maybe they're not as like, I don't want to put any, for people who are living in poverty or anything like that. We are not worried about where food is going to come tomorrow. But yes, there are still things that weigh on our brains in the position that we're in right now, whether it's my own self-worth or is my wife mad at me about something? Are my kids pissed off about something that I just did? Is my friend upset with the thing that I did that I thought that I was saying in a different way? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's not over.
Outside of like those gigantic like abuse or neglect.
Yes.
Or like those or poverty, like
yes.
starving to death. Outside of those gigantic things that are like, overarching, like, okay, you need these to live.
Yeah.
You need basic necessities to live. But outside of that, it's pretty minimal.
Yeah.
The difference between, making 90,000 and 500,000.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
The amount of
that 70,000 threshold or whatever is
happiness.
that we've talked about in the past, or we've heard statistics about. It's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
After your basic needs are met and you're not in like harm, you're not in like a dire need of something. I mean, it's really just what set of problems do you want to have?
Yes. and what are you currently thinking about or worrying about? Absolutely.
So when you read the book and you had that overarching theme of, because one of the examples I remember, actually it wasn't from that book, but from a different book. An example that I remember is like a couple that was like you and I, just a normal couple. And they had a set of problems, normal, whatever. One of our cars is kind of junky and we have to take it to the shop every other month. And,
She's talking about her car, everybody.
Yeah, your car that I had to take over. I never wanted a grocery getter.
Oh, now you're digging me. I love that car. I'll take it back, but I have to take the kids everywhere. So I got to use the really brand new SUV. Sorry.
Pulling the kid card.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, thanks, like, just a couple like us that had a, silly car or whatever that they had to like take to the shop all the time. They had a, just a normal set of problems. Like they wanted to get together with their friends, but they had to, hard days at work and they had to cancel every once in a while and just, couldn't go out all the time. A normal set of problems. And then they won the lottery and kind of thought that all of their problems would be fixed. Like all of a sudden, oh my gosh, like you can help your family to buy a house so that they're not in need. They could have all the money in the world so they don't have to work, so they can make plans all the time. They can buy the cars of their dreams that don't need maintenance. But what ended up happening was then they just had a new set of problems, which were every time that their friends had some sort of cause that they wanted to raise money for, if they didn't chip in, they were jerks.
Yep.
Or if they didn't chip in enough, they were cheap and stingy. Or if they didn't buy their cousin a new house because they had millions, why not? But now that cousin is all mad because they didn't buy them a $1 million
nicer house.
Yeah. So it's just like, everything can be there's just not like a goal at the end of if I get there, everything will be perfect. There's just not. And I feel that, and that's what's going on through my head right now with my set of problems with my career. I tend to look at the bright side in the beginning of things, and then I'm a realist at heart. So I have these high hopes that everything that is going to be so wonderful. And then I get in and I'm like, wait, you know, there are pros and cons. And sometimes those cons outweigh the pros.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's, it's better in ways, but it's worse in ways. So
A different set of problems.
yeah. So you tell me, is that a positive thing? Like when you read the book and you read about this overarching theme of no, the grass isn't greener on the other side, it's just a different shade of green.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take that
Well,
as
as an
a
eternal
comfort, or do you take that as a total like, oh, well, that's pretty
as an
depressing?
eternal optimist, because that's
You are.
that's who I am, right? So when I first read it, I'm like, well, that's not how I want to live.
Yeah.
I want to live like, you can make a difference in your life. You can, if you have a problem, you have the ability to change it. And I still believe that. I do believe that. What I appreciated about it is that it's just real. It is real, as you described. Um, once you've improved your health to a point, there's always things that you can do extra. Once you've improved your finance to a point, there's always things you can do extra. It's just the ability for us to continue practicing contentment and gratitude with what we have that will, I believe, eventually help us to get to a point of happiness and contentment.
So how do you practice contentment? Through thinking the grass is greener on the other side.
Well, I mean, practicing contentment is just is a daily practice, a daily exercise, just like exercise, breathing, whatever, taking care of yourself. But I don't think we can ever remove the fact that there'll always be some issues in your life. I think that's just human nature. I think that's how we're hardwired. I think we're always on guard in our brains to be prepared for what might go wrong or what is bothering us in the present moment. But it does take time and practice and intentionality to try to look at the bright side. And that's something that I think everybody can do.
Okay, so if I say to you, "Hey buddy, the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's just a different shade." Do you
Yeah.
think I'm a negative person or a positive person?
The statement is negative.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you disagree?
I just think it's real. I mean,
No,
and yeah,
yeah.
I think it's comforting.
Yeah.
I think it's comforting because when I see that it's true, like I don't want that disappointment.
Sure.
I don't want to think
You
the
wanna be
grass is
prepared for the
gonna be
reality.
greener on the other side, and then get there and be like, "Well, shoot, no, it's not."
Yeah.
I
Well,
think that's depressing. That's depressing to have high hopes and
and
get
then getting
let
there and
down.
yeah, okay, I see that.
So I
Well, I
kind of
guess
think it's nice to have like your
I think it depends on what we're talking about,
Mm.
honestly. I mean, like, I which is such a sad thing to say to you right now. I am blissfully happy with my career, with my small business.
Yeah.
Like, I never knew that working could be this joyous. And in the moment right now, I feel bad saying that. So when you talk about grass is always being greener, like or not being greener, I don't believe that with my working career and my situation. I don't believe that with financial preparedness and all the things that we've done to create some joy in our lives that help us to relax a little bit more. I do believe that there are another set of problems, but they are a weakened state of problems. So, do I agree with the author of this book? I think his name is Mark something. Do I agree with all of his statements to an extent? But maybe that is my eternal
So
optimist fighting that.
are you saying that you do think the grass is greener on the other side? Like I'm
I do think
confused.
I'm gonna throw a Justin Bieber quote at you. Ready? I do think the grass can be greener on the other side if you water it.
I don't remember that from a song.
Oh, it's a Biebs. You look it up. It's a Biebs quote.
Oh.
So if you take the time
Well,
and the
baby,
effort.
baby, baby. Oh,
Well, baby, baby,
did
baby.
not know
Oh.
that was a quote.
If you take the
Huh.
time to water that grass,
hmm
it can be even greener.
And tell me what that means and the example that you must have in your head right now. Is it your career?
I mean, anything in life. If we talk about let's talk about our finances. Let's talk about my career. Yeah, I mean, I took the time to prepare to transition and to create a career that works well. Has there been ups and downs? Absolutely. Could there still be ups and downs in the future that I'm not even aware of? Absolutely. But taking the time to focus and realize that there's going to be a lot of ups and downs over the process and rolling with it and also doing everything that I can do to improve it in the process is me watering it.
So, are you saying it's all just in your perspective? Like the
No,
grass
I'm an action
isn't
person.
necessarily greener, but it's just like how you look at it and how you
Yeah,
perceive it
there's a
and
little bit of
how much work you put
mental
into
work
it.
there, but I think a lot of it is an action. I mean, as I don't know, if the people listen to this show or listen to the Monday show, I'm all about the action on Mondays. I'm all about the how to get it done and then do it. And yeah, if you put in the work, I think if you put in the work for a lot of things, I think things can get better. I honestly do.
Okay, so what do you say to the person
hmm
who's in a relationship
Yeah.
and they were in love and got married and all of a sudden kind of find themselves like not really in love anymore and they're like, "You know what? I think it's going to be so much better to get divorced and be single."
Hmm. I would say put in the work. Marriage is a verb. It's not a noun.
So in that sense you're saying the grass isn't going to be greener on the other side.
If the other side means leaving and going to find another partner,
Right.
then no. I would put in the work for the commitment you made originally, for maybe the children that you have as well, and the relationship that you said I do to, and doing all that you can do to make it better. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a fool. Like 50% of marriages end in divorce. So I understand the reality of that. I'm not saying 50% are quitters either. I'm just saying that do your best to put in the work. Put in the work. And after you've felt in your heart that you've put in the work, it's okay. It's okay to make change because the grass might be greener.
And then what if you put in the work, it still fails, you decide to get a divorce, and then you get a divorce and you're like on dating websites, and then you're like, man, this sucks too. Like,
Well,
yeah,
marriage.
it sucked when I was with,
hmm
Susie or
Sure.
Karen.
Yeah.
I was with Karen and we didn't have, we like it was really annoying because she made terrible dinner and like
Make your own dinner, bro.
and she never wanted to watch the shows that I want to watch.
Uh-huh.
Well, now I can watch whatever show I want to
Yeah.
watch and I can eat whatever I want for dinner,
Mhm.
but I'm super lonely. Like there's no one to talk about the terrible dinner or the good dinner with.
Sure.
And there's, so I just think there's like,
So what you're saying is
I
like
don't know,
maybe you're like
there's just
60% happy
a
in your
different
marriage,
set of
but then you're also like
problems.
60% happy in your divorce.
Totally.
Yeah, I see that.
And you see that as a negative thing? I see it as a comforting
Which part?
thing.
I guess I'm confused. Which part is the negative thing?
Like the thought of like leaving that marriage to go somewhere else.
No, I'm not saying that the divorce or breaking up with somebody is a negative thing. I don't think you should. Hey, you committed, you live through it, and then die together, even though you're really unhappy. No, I would say as long as you put in the work to say, hey, how can I improve this? How can I make it better? What can I
Okay.
do to do my best? And say, hey, at the end of the day, you died, and say yeah, you're at the pearly gates, and you said, hey, I did the best I could.
Yeah.
Then that's good, right?
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So you're okay with
I'm not a quitter.
exploring
I'm
if
not
the
gonna give up.
grass is greener
Yeah.
as long as you've tried everything you could to make this grass as green as you could.
Exactly. Exactly. Have you watered it?
Okay.
Have you fed it the what's our problem with our lawn right now? They got all the weeds. There's
Creeping
a lot of
Charlie.
analogies. We got the creeping
Creeping
Charlie out there.
Charlie
How do
is
we get the
taking
creeping Charlie out?
over.
You know, is
Yeah.
the creeping Charlie taking over your situation?
Yeah.
Have you put in the proper chemicals to remove the creeping Charlie? And are you watering the lawn enough? Watering the grass enough? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as you can say to yourself, I've done all that I need to do to make this situation great, and still it sucks. That's cool.
Okay. So that makes you feel satisfied.
That does.
And to me, and I get that point. I like it. I do think, yes, whether it's your career, your relationships, whatever, like, yes, put as much as you can into it. But I personally do feel like the notion of the grass isn't going to be greener on the other side is comforting instead of
I agree.
depressing.
No, I don't think it's depressing. I agree with you. Like I think you really like your example of the relationship that, hey, let's say I'm in a relationship and there's like stuff I can't do because of my spouse. And then on the other side, when I'm divorced, I can do those things. So that makes me happy. But now I don't have anybody to do those things with or anybody to talk to. So I'm like 60% happy over here and then another 60% happy on the divorce
In
side.
the exact opposite
It's more
categories.
problems, right? In exact,
Mhm.
yeah, like
Right.
inverse categories, right?
Mhm.
So I agree with you. I love your realist nature in that respect
Hmm.
because being married to you is a good reminder of that. Honestly, I'm an eternal optimist, and that could be a great thing. And it's also led me into situations that are not that great. And you know that, and I know that. So I love having your realist view.
Like when you brought
Anything.
like
I'll
when
bring up 5 things right
you
now.
brought the guy on
What's
the
this
side
one?
of the road
What?
who had the guy on the side of the road had like a sign up that
Oh,
said
yeah, that's a good one.
hungry.
That's a good one.
And you're like, I think he wants a sandwich. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. He wants money. He wants money so he can go whatever. I mean, I don't care. Maybe he wants cigarettes or drugs. Like if you give him money, like be okay with whatever he's gonna get. And you're like, no, no. His sign says he's hungry. He's hungry. I'm gonna bring him a grilled cheese sandwich. And then you brought him a grilled cheese sandwich, and he was like, thanks. And he like threw it in his backpack with like 12 other grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah. That's true.
And I'm like, see, I'm not negative by telling you not to bring him a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm just real. I'm a realist, and you're an eternal optimist.
Yes. Wow. Maybe that's what the episode should have been called.
Oh my God. But anyway, should we do some key takeaways?
Sure. Let's say hi to some friends. Carlos, what's up, my man? Good to see you.
Hi,
Carlos
Carlos
says
again.
our mindset is very important on the situations.
It's very true, Carlos, because the grass being greener is all your mindset. I mean, it truly is how you view if your glass is half full or half empty, you know?
And one thing that Nicole and I both agree on is that, to your point, Carlos, is that we've got to enjoy the journey or enjoy those moments. Like 2 weeks ago when we did the show, you were very happy. You were very happy. And we celebrated. We had a good night. We drank some wine. We had some pizza. We had fun with the kids. We were giggling, laughing.
Yeah.
Those are moments. And I feel like that happens in life, that we're waiting for the destination. It happens. And then we got to celebrate those. We got to celebrate that moment because it's fleeting. They go away. They go away. They do. So enjoy the journey, celebrate the milestones wherever you are in your life, financially, career-wise, relationship-wise. If you have your first anniversary, celebrate the crap out of that. Or, your first week, whatever. So I agree with you. And PK, good to see you again. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. You want to do some takeaways?
Sure.
Okay.
So my first key takeaway would be the grass being greener on the other side. And like, I guess I'm going to go ahead and say it's not. It's never greener. It is just a different shade. No, I mean, I'm not going to say it's dead and brown, but I'm just going to say it's chartreuse.
What's chartreuse? What color is
It's
that?
just a different shade of green.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
there's billions of shades of green. So,
Yeah.
it's different, but it's not better. It's just different.
Yeah.
And I don't think that needs to be a depressing thing. I don't think it needs to be a sad, negative thing to say. Things are never better or there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I think it's just real. And I think it sets realistic expectations so you're not let down when you get there. So just kind of remembering that, like, everything is just a journey and everything has a set of its own pros and cons. Nothing is better than anything else, you know? So it's just different.
All right. I like that. I like that. Yeah, it's a perspective for sure. Absolutely. And helps you prepare for what's to come too, to set your expectations in a good way. I would okay, so takeaway number 2, as I'm gonna pull the beebs. I'm gonna pull the beebs. I think we have a lot of control over what our situation ends up being. We are in control. I do not want to live my life thinking that I'm not in control. Our actions, our state of mind, our ability to make changes is well within our grasp, and we are in control. And by watering that grass, if it's not the shade of green that we like, we have the ability to water that grass. We have the ability to change that color. We are in control of our lives. We are in control of our futures.
Okay. And I'll say also, we are in control of our perspective of the shade of green.
Nice.
Right? Like, so I think what you're saying about the control is, hey, if you tried a new job and you hate it, you have control. You can quit. You can find a new one. You can stick with it. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. And my third takeaway is, yes, there is that control to quit or whatever, but there's also the control to just change your perspective and, appreciate it for what it is. Um, realize what it isn't, be real about your expectations. And just, manage the way that you look at it and that you think about it, which is a lot easier said than done. But yeah, I do think to an extent we have control over whether we're seeing the glass half full or half empty, kind of a thing. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I like that. That's good.
And we'll see where the roller coaster ride takes us.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of roller coaster, everybody, we appreciate you being on this roller coaster with us, up and down, for the past year. I think we've been doing this for a year now. Did you know that?
Wow. That's
Isn't that wild?
crazy. I didn't think I'd
Almost
last that
November.
long.
I didn't think. Actually, I think the first episode, I said, "Hey, everybody, we're doing a new segment. Might not be here next week, but 1 year later." Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your support. If you have any topics or questions for us, you can do that on social media at Andy Hill MKM. And if you, this was a suggestion from Jacob, if you want to buy us a bottle of wine for us to drink on the show, a little cheap bottle.
That's
I'm going to
so
say cheap.
kind, Jacob. But then I'm
Jacob.
gonna have to buy you a bottle of wine. So
Nicole
send
wants
us
to
your
buy one.
address.
If you want to go to marriagekidsandmoney.com/wine, you could buy us a cheap bottle of wine.
I'm terrible
it's like $5.
at receiving gifts. So
Exactly. And we will drink it on the show. We'll give you a shout out. So leave your information there. That could be fun. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Cheers, baby.
Cheers. Mine's empty. I
I got to work on that.
refill it.